Pure Vita is pure life. It's natural energy. It's energy from the air, from clean air, energy from the sun, energy from the earth, energy from the ground. And when you connect back to that, you heal. You get better, simply. The sun, believe it or not, again, we have three bodies. We have a mind, we have a body, and we have a spirit. People think of the sun, when they stare at the sun, as the giver of life on this planet. But people don't realize when you actually continually to stare at the sun, it actually is just simply a mirror reflection of the sixth chakra or pineal gland or third eye. When you look at the sun, you stare at infiniteness. But it's a mirror reflection because your soul is infinite. It's complete infinite energy. You are infinite energy. When you stare at the sun, you are looking at yourself. The more you stare at the sun, the more you will develop the sun within, or the third eye. The more you develop the third eye, the more your higher self speaks to you. The more your higher self speaks to you, the less you need books, the less you need guru. You then become guru. Simple. That's what we teach here. I truly, truly love this practice because it will change you. By default, it will change you, because when you stare at the sun, in more depth, when you stare at the sun, if any of you know the chakras, everything comes in as a vibration or a frequency. So when you stare at the sun, you're actually staring at every single color and vibration and frequency that this planet has to offer. So it will completely open you. I mean, you will have some sun gazes where your heart chakra blows wide open, and you recognize that you are completely one with everything. In India, they call it Surya Yoga. In Egypt and in the Aztec empires, they called it Ra in the Egyptian culture. And they also called it, when staring at the sun, they called the practice the secret gates to heaven. Because when you stare at the sun, you stare at oneness. You stare at the oneness of everything. And since I've been doing this for 8 years, when I see the plants, when I see people, I see all love. I see no judgment. I see no right or wrong. I see no good or bad. I see life as it is. And so it is. That's it. That's all it is. You know, everyone's expressing their version of love. The guy right now in this very moment committing suicide, to you guys wanting to learn the higher vibrations of life. It's all the same. And it's all good. When you get life licked like that, and you see nothing from a face of judgment, your life will be transformed. It will completely change. You will then become the creator. You can create whatever it is. The sky's the limit. You're at the driver's seat. For the next minute or two, try not to blink. When you don't blink, you move over to the right half of your brain, which is the expansive center of your brain. It's the creative oneness center. You leave the left, which is the boxy part of your brain, and you move to the right hemisphere of your brain. You notice that you'll start to melt. That was truly enjoyable, guys. I'm glad I didn't think I'd have time to teach you probably one of the most profound practices that I actually teach here. But thank you for allowing me the window to actually teach it to you in a very quick way.
Very honored. Thank you so much.
Cool. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Whenever I speak, because people think I'm nuts at first, and whenever I speak, I'm like, show of hands, how many of you have ever seen a sunrise or a sunset and thought it was beautiful? And then they go, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm not asking you to stare at the noontime sun, first day out. I was like, just sunrise, sunset. I was like, make something that you did anyway whenever you were at a beach or whatever, make it into a practice. Make it into a practice where you actually stare into your reflection, the third eye. And it's amazing the power of creating when you sun gaze. Because when you sun gaze, you raise your vibration. When you raise your vibration, prayer is answered. When you raise your vibration with a quiet mind and you ask into the sun, you're really asking yourself. And you set a intention, it is watch stuff happen It is unbelievable. The serendipity, people will come into your life. You ask for something, it will happen. In the last 8 years of my life, I ask for things when I stare into the sun, and it just happens. It's true. It's amazing. And now I have fun with it. Now, the quicker, the sharper you get with your mind, and the better you can concentrate staring into the sun and creating this visualization. And you athletes know visualization is a very powerful technique. But when you actually really can do it, staring into the sun, things start to happen in this matter form. Esther Hicks has a book called Ask and It Is Given. You are truly the creator. You truly will become realized when you do some of these practices. One of them, one window to realization is sun gazing, where you know that you are not a drone bee. You are not, none of you here are a human doer. You are not your water bill. You are not going to work every day. You are not paying all your bills. You are a human creator. If you want to change your life, you want to change, you want to heal, you want to transform whatever it is in your life, quiet your head out. Clean your body out. Your body's a temple. Find a connection to your soul. Sun gazing is one river to that realization. And start to create and just watch how that you are a chip of God. We are all little gods here. All you got to do is notice. And it just happens. It just happens. This farm was created from me staring at the sun and just concentrating. That's it. Just concentrating on what I wanted out of my life. 10 years ago, I had nothing. My illness took everything from me. And as I started to rebuild my body, and then I started to rebuild my mind, and then I started to learn how to reconnect to my soul, I learned that I could do whatever it is that I wanted. I could create whatever it is that I wanted. And every single person here can do that. That you're not a drone bee. In Atlanta, I used to love that when I'd go to work, and I could see people just like hating, like not liking what they were doing, and recognizing that they weren't happy. But what you have to realize is that you are happy. You don't have to search for happiness. You are happiness. You are love. You are just a high frequency. You're a vibration. That's it. And so when you realize that, you can create whatever it is that you want. You're not a human doer. You're not a slave to a water bill or electric bills or your rent. Always follow your heart. If your heart leads, you will, and you follow a soul practice, you can get whatever it is that you want out of life. Anything too. And I've seen it over and over and over again. And I'm sure some of you have too. All of you. So, all right, let's go see the greenhouse.
We're the Raw Bras.